Today we tell the story of Battlefield 3 and 4. With Battlefield 6 on the horizon, it's worth looking back at the stories that shaped the series' modern era. Battlefield 3 dropped us into a tense conflict driven by political intrigue and nuclear threat, while Battlefield 4 carried the chaos forward into a near-future showdown between world powers on the brink of war. Our story begins with Sergeant Henry Blackburn of the Marines in handcuffs running away from police in New York City. Blackburn quickly jumps onto a subway train and gets inside it. However, it appears that he knows something as he fights a man in a mask inside the train. As the sergeant makes his way through, he finds bombs on the subway and immediately tries to reach the front. However, he is ambushed by a man in a black coat.
Are you alone? Huh?
Sergeant Henry Blackburn's 5-man team, Misfit 1-3, are tasked with finding and safely returning a U.S. team investigating a potential IED in Sulaymaniyah, Iraq. Now, the team were last positioned in a market controlled by an Iranian paramilitary insurgent group called the People's Liberation and Resistance. However, the PLR crossed borders into Iraq, which has caused tensions to rise in the region. Sometime later, they find the missing team and discover that they had been ambushed by the PLR. Now, Blackburn and his team may suffer the same fate as they attempt to fight off enemies closing in on their position. However, a massive earthquake hits and causes destruction all around them, which also serves as a distraction. Sergeant Blackburn wakes in what appears to be hours later.
Good idea. I let you choose. Choose. Choose what? Oh, come on. What is it? Live or die? Live or die, mister. Hemşire!
Blackburn and his team fight their way out of the ruins of the city towards an extraction point. Now, as this was going on, the very same day, the PLR kept busy as they staged a coup in Iran, which led to the US invading with 50,000 Marines. This would eventually lead to an airstrike over Mehrabad Airport, and in the aftermath of the airstrikes, Sergeant Blackburn and Misfit 1-3 are sent into Tehran for a battle damage assessment report, and they are also to apprehend the leader of the PLR, Farouk al-Bashir. Misfit 1-3 investigates an underground bank vault where al-Bashir is suspected of being. However, Blackburn and his team find out something very dangerous.
It's an operations room. Looks like they tried to destroy it.
No, look, shit's still here. I want everything bagged and tagged.
Oh, shit. We got maps of Paris, New York. I got a train timetable here. It says 6:02.
Holy shit. Come over here.
Radioactive. Is that a good idea?
We don't got a choice. Holy shit. You know what that is?
Russian. Portable nukes.
There's only one there.
Wait, there's room for 2 more. Where the hell are the other 2?
Hey, you need to see this! There!
Oh, shit.
That's al-Bashir. Who's the other guy?
I don't know. They're coming down. We need to secure the nuke and get the hell out of here.
What about the intel?
No, there's no time. Let's get the nuke and move.
Man, this whole building's gonna come down.
This is Misfit 1-3.
Misfit, this is actual send.
Misfit, we have secured what appears to be a WMD. Break? There may be more than one.
Misfit 1-3, you're breaking up. Are you reporting WMD? Say again, you're breaking up.
Earlier that day, Misfit 1-3 were engaged against the PLR. They requested backup from an M1 Abrams column led by Sergeant Miller and his team. After arriving in Tehran, Sergeant Miller begins to facilitate Misfit 1-3's helicopter extraction. However, he and his team are attacked and captured by the PLR, who uses Sergeant Miller to send a chilling message.
Hello, Mr. Miller, is it? Americans and their souvenirs. Is this your child? No, I can see the name. Johnny Miller. Hope he doesn't miss it too much. You know, children, they get attached to these little things. They can cry for days when they lose one. You know why? Because these small objects remind them they're loved. But loss is part of growing up, isn't it? Part of growing up is accepting the inevitability of death. The inevitability, Mr. Miller, of death. My father told me that. You would be a hero to your children, too. I hope that gives you comfort. Brother.
Amadei, Bejum. Shame. You come to our country to murder us, yet we are the terrorists when we try to protect our nation and our people. This is the price you pay.
2 days later, Misfit 1-3 searched for al-Bashir and came upon an apartment block, which they suspected al-Bashir was hiding in. As the team engaged the building, al-Bashir makes a run for it via an SUV. However, he crashes it and suffers severe burn wounds. Sergeant Blackburn pulls him out of the vehicle and questions him. Al-Bashir reveals that Solomon is the mastermind behind everything, and the attempted coup of Iran was used as a distraction to steal the nukes. Al-Bashir reveals that Solomon plans to detonate the nukes in Paris and New York City before succumbing to his wounds. Intel from al-Bashir's phone reveals a lead on an arms dealer named Amir Kafarov. They discovered he was working with Solomon and al-Bashir. A week later, they head towards northern Iran to capture Kafarov, who is located in his villa near the Azerbaijan border. However, on their way there, Misfit 1-3 is ambushed by Russian troops. The team discover a massive presence of Russian airborne elements being airdropped into the fields ahead. The team is hesitant in engaging as this could lead to a war against Russia, but their commanding officer insists and the team engage the Russians. Misfit 1-3 are able to take them out. However, after this, they are attacked by Russian fighter jets. Blackburn is able to take the jets out. However, 2 members of Misfit 1-3 are killed. While Misfit 1-3 were engaged against Russian forces, a team led by Dmitry Dima Mayakovsky assaulted Kafarov's villa. Kafarov attempted to bribe his way out, which didn't work. Dima interrogated the arms dealer, and sometime later, Sergeant Blackburn arrived at the villa and found Dima and an unconscious Kafarov.
Do not do anything stupid.
This piece of shit right there stole 3 nuclear devices from Russia and sold it to a man called Solomon. Solomon's using the PLR. He has at least 2 targets, New York and Paris. He's using public transit to move the weapons. He's going to detonate the New York device at Times Square very soon. This cannot happen. We can avert war between our nations. Just 2 of us. No politicians. No money changing hands. Just 2 soldiers speaking the truth. Help me. Help me to do this. That's it. I have to leave now. You don't shoot him. Millions will die.
Get down on the ground! I said get down on the ground!
Remember, do whatever you have to do to stop Solomon's plan.
The killing of his CO would put Sergeant Blackburn in deep shit. He and Monty are brought to New York City and interrogated by CIA agents Gordon and Whistler. Here, the sergeant attempts to explain all of his previous operations while trying to tell them an attack on New York is happening in mere hours. While Blackburn is being questioned, Solomon's team has already moved to nuke Paris, and Dima and his squad attempted to stop the attack. However, they are unsuccessful, and the nuke goes off, killing 80,000 people. Blackburn learns of this during the questioning and urges the agents to listen. However, they don't believe him, as Solomon has been a CIA informant for many years. Instead, they think that Russia is responsible for the attacks, and that Dima tricked Blackburn into killing his CO and letting him escape. The agents are done questioning Blackburn and bring in his misfit team member Monty.
Christ, the nuke is still out there. Solomon's still out there. You can't just walk away from the threat.
You might be right, Sergeant. Maybe Solomon was too close to the fire, but I assure you we are on top of this situation. The Russians are a clear and present threat. Yes. What do you mean you lost a train?
Solomon's using the PLR.
He is an overseas asset, and he has been for years.
He used me, and he uses everyone. He said, get the bombs.
80,000 dead.
We can avert war between our nations.
Well, the blast yield matches Russian suitcase nuke specs.
We've secured what appears to be a WMD.
Wait, there's room for 2 more.
How many portable nuclear devices did you see in the bank vault?
Where the hell are the other 2?
The 14th of this month.
We got maps of Paris, New York.
He's using public transit to move the weapons.
Suleiman will strike.
However, Blackburn and Montes escape the facility as they have to race against time to stop the nuke from going off. This brings us back to the train where Sergeant Blackburn was captured by the man in black, who we know now is Solomon. Sergeant Blackburn then pursues Solomon and makes his way up to street level. Montes picks up Sergeant Blackburn in a car and chases Solomon through New York City. Eventually they crash and a final confrontation ensues.
He's coming. He's coming. He's coming.
So, who dies first? You'll never win! The guy's winning!
An unspecified amount of time later, we find Dima writing a letter.
Radiation is like life, a uniquely damaging event. Perhaps I will live another 30 years. Perhaps I will die tomorrow. I am telling my story here. The story of how Solomon used power-hungry men like al-Bashir and Kafarov to set fire to the world. And the American Marine, who, like me, chose the hardest path of all. But I have no regrets. I have always served Russia, trying to make a difference. Sometimes I was forced to make difficult choices. Many lives have been saved. Many have been lost. I am certain Moscow does not view it in the same light as I do. But enough is enough. As Vladimir would say, you can only die once. Make sure it is worth it.
This would be the story of Battlefield 3, and from here we move into Battlefield 4, which is set in the same world, in the year 2020, 6 years after the events of Battlefield 3. Tensions between the United States and Russia are at an all-time high, and a Chinese admiral looks to take advantage of the situation by overthrowing the Chinese government and blaming the United States. If successful, China would gain Russia's full support, resulting in an all-out war against the United States. A U.S. Special Operations Squad known as Tombstone are tasked with retrieving vital information in Baku, Azerbaijan. However, the team is being hunted by Russian special forces. The squad engage the Russians as they move towards the extraction point at the top of a skyscraper. However, once they reach the top, they are taken down. Once they come to, they look to get their squad leader Dunn out from some rubble that fell on him. However, his leg is caught, and the only way to move him is to amputate his leg. Dunn gives his approval, and the team remove the leg. Shortly after, the team commandeer a vehicle and attempt to escape with an enemy helicopter in pursuit. Wrecker, the team's second-in-command, destroys the helicopter with a grenade launcher. However, the team crashes into the ocean and are once again trapped. The team attempt to move Dunn, who is critically injured. However, he orders his team to leave without him. Pac and Irish, the other team members, are fully against it, but Dunn orders Wrecker to do it. Eventually, he gives in and the team escape and make it back to base on the USS Valkyrie, with their squad leader, Dunn, dying. The intel recovered in Baku revealed that Admiral Chang is planning a military coup in China, which would allow him to gain full Russian support if successful. However, it appears that command already knew that, meaning that Dunn died for nothing. Sometime later, Wrecker and the team meet with Captain Garrison, who informs them of the assassination of Chinese presidential candidate Jin Ji. He also reveals that Admiral Chang convinced the Chinese government that the United States was responsible. Captain Garrison would send Wrecker and his team to Shanghai to retrieve CIA agent Kovic, Hannah, and Hannah's husband. Wrecker would officially be made Tombstone's new leader. And after infiltrating Shanghai, Tombstone reaches the 3 targets and puts them in a helicopter back to the USS Valkyrie. The team then fight their way through Chinese forces and eventually take a boat back to base. However, an electromagnetic pulse goes off, frying all electronic equipment in the area, including the boat. Realizing that other refugees are stranded on boats around them, Irish helps to lead them back to the USS Valkyrie. As they make it back to the Valkyrie, Captain Garrison sets a course for the USS Titan, which should be able to house the refugees inside. However, they find that the Titan has been almost destroyed completely by Chang's Chinese military. Garrison orders Tombstone to scour the wreckage of the Titan for survivors and intel before it sinks. He also makes Agent Kovic from the CIA acting leader of Tombstone for the time being, and Wrecker is demoted once again to number 2. After boarding the Titan, Tombstone recovers a hard drive that explains what happened during Chang's attack. However, the Titan splits in 2, forcing Tombstone to hijack an assault boat and race back to the USS Valkyrie, and once they arrive, they find it under attack by Chinese forces. As Tombstone engages the Chinese, Agent Kovic is critically injured. This results in Wrecker being put back in charge of Tombstone as Agent Kovic dies. Wrecker and his team take out the Chinese and rescue Captain Garrison and Hannah's husband. Shortly after this, Captain Garrison debriefs the squad on what's next.
Pac, Wrecker, I need you to follow me on this. We need to make sure our last missiles are put to good use. Assault the airfield. Eyes on the ground. Signal us when their planes are on the tarmac. We'll light those motherfuckers up and continue west through the strait.
Copy that, Captain. Piece of cake.
Pac. Wrecker. You might not make it. Many of your friends won't. But this is it. This is the shot we've got. Now, the squad that gets to the airfield and lights their flare has 30 seconds to get out before we rain our missiles down. Copy. Do not become a friendly fire statistic. Anna.
Go, Wrecker.
Let's go, Marines, let's go!
Captain's orders, Irish.
Whoa, 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 where do you think you're going?
I volunteered.
You volunteered, but who approved?
Captain Garrison, take it up with him.
You know about this?
Do you speak Mandarin, Sergeant?
Whether I do or don't, it's none of your concern, young lady.
Look, I'm just trying to help. You'll back me up, right?
In my opinion, bad fucking idea, Wrecker. She's a risk and a liability.
Tombstone successfully assaults the beach and pushes towards the airfield. After being slowed down by some trouble, the team arrive at the airfield through the sewers, and they fire the signal flare. Wrecker and the team attempt to evacuate the area. However, they are hit with friendly fire.
Pac. Wake up, goddammit! Pac! Don't you fucking do this!
Come on, damn it!
快来！他们在这儿，我抓到他们了。
The fuck? You fucking...
不要管他，他已经死了。带走这个。Sorry, Rucker. Couldn't be any other way.
We later find Wrecker and Irish being interrogated in a prison by Admiral Chang.
Wrecker, what was it?
美国佬们肯开口了吗？
把他给我抓进来，给我坐好。
罪犯发生了我做咩事的伤害 Triple Irish Graves, Sergeant! Leave alone, you sick bastard!
What'd you make me, Sergeant?
Wrecker! Wrecker, stay with me! Stay with me, Wrecker! I'm gonna cut your fucking arms off, and I'm gonna find that bitch spy hand, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of her with him! I'm the fucking husband!
Her husband? What husband? Is your mind sleeping?
You think I'm stupid, huh? The guy with the bandages. I know.
So, he still lives. Your ship is the USS Valkyrie, is it not?
What? The fuck are you talking about?
You have no idea who you brought out of Shanghai, do you? 好，把他们杀死。
没问题。
After this, they are put in separate prison cells. Wrecker is awoken by his prison cellmate, who has a plan to escape. The prisoner is revealed to be Dima, who has been rotting in a cell for 6 years. As the two work together to escape, they cause a mass riot and free Irish in the process. However, they cross paths with Hannah once again.
Sorry, I couldn't do.
Fucking scum-sucking bitch!
You wanna kill this китайская женщина right after she saved us?
Calm down.
Go fuck yourself! You gave us up!
Let me explain.
Fuck that! You got no loyalty! You're working with Chang!
No! I have no loyalty to Chang. He wanted Jinjie dead. It was my mission to protect him.
Yeah, look where it got him! He's a fucking dead man!
No, he's
Well,
not.
shoot your
He's
children!
not.
Unless you all wanna die here. Go now! Grab your guns! Fight later! Come on!
I don't believe this motherfucking shit!
Time to get out of here! Sergeant! Help me with the gate!
Wrecker, got this for you.
You kept the tactical binos?
After fighting their way out of the prison and down a mountain, the team engaged against heavily armed Chinese forces, eventually making it to a cable car. However, it would be shot down by an enemy helicopter, and this would result in the death of Dima. However, Wrecker, Irish, and Hannah would survive, and they would spend the next 2 days walking down the mountain until they found a vehicle and drove it to Tashgar. Here, Hannah finally opens up to the team.
Why can't you trust me, Irish?
Man, give me a break. I don't know shit about you, Hannah. Where's your loyalty anyway?
You know what? Never mind.
Oh yeah? Try me.
I brought Jinjie to meet my parents, my siblings, and their children. I wanted them to have hope. Next day, Chang's troops came in and killed them all. Burned the whole village down. Slow down.
Wow. My turn to say I didn't know. Hey, look, Hannah, I'm sorry, all right?
Trust is earned, Irish.
Eventually, Tombstone run into Major Greenland, who commands the remains of the US ground forces in Tashgar. She states that the mobile anti-air control by the Russians is putting them at a disadvantage. Tombstone volunteers to demolish the Tashkar Dam to flood the area and destroy the Chinese-Russian forces in exchange for a ride back to the USS Valkyrie. Tombstone is successful and are sent to the Suez Canal to await extraction back to the USS Valkyrie. Once Wrecker and his team make it back to the Valkyrie, they find the deck is being boarded by Chinese forces, and they assist in stopping them. After this, Tombstone finds Captain Garrison, Jin Ji, and Pak, who survived the air attack in Singapore. However, the Chinese forces are pushing towards the medical bay, where Tombstone and the other survivors are located. And as the Chinese are about to breach the door, Jin Ji convinces Garrison to let him show his face to the soldiers.
Now you listen to me. They'll kill you the second they get through. That door's the only thing keeping you alive.
With such an extreme trauma, he shouldn't even be up. I mean, this is the concussion talking.
In this room, I am invisible.
Oh, Jesus.
I am dead already. We all are. If I cannot show my face, if I cannot speak to my brothers without fear, then I have lost. I need to know where I stand. Open the door, Sergeant.
Easy!
喂，兄弟，你被骗了。如果你用你听我会告诉你的事情
Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
真姐活了，我们已经死。真姐活了，把枪放下。
Stand down.
真姐活了，我们要告诉其他人，真姐活了。哎，这是野火，对，真姐活了，在这地毯上面。是真的，真姐活了，真姐活了。
The Chinese soldiers celebrate the news of their leader's return and call off the attack and inform the Russians, as the Chinese now look to convince them to change sides in the war. However, when Admiral Chang hears this, he attacks the USS Valkyrie in an attempt to silence them once and for all. This leads to Wrecker, Irish, and Hannah to attempt to manually destroy Admiral Chang's warship with explosives. The three drive a boat to the warship's blind spot and set remote charges. Once they make it to safety, they attempt to detonate the explosives. However, they malfunction, and they must be detonated manually. Hannah volunteers to do it, but Irish stops her and says that he will do it. With time running out, Wrecker must decide who does it.
You are not risking your life, Hannah. I'm Irish, remember? The lucky one. Give it to me, Wrecker.
Wrecker, I risk my life for my country every day. Give me the charge.
Your country needs you alive, Hannah. You are not going down, period. Come on, Wrecker.
Jen, everyone on that ship are dying as we argue. Give me the charge, Wrecker.
It's my goddamn ship, Hannah!
Wrecker, when the detonator goes green, you push the button.
Hannah! Motherfuckers!
It's set. Push the button, Wrecker.
You're gonna kill her!
God damn it!
Admiral Chang and his forces are defeated, a Marine rescue helicopter picks up Wrecker and what remains of his team. However, during the end credits, there is a new conversation between Irish and Hannah, discussing their past and how they have to keep moving forward, implying that the teammate that went down may have survived. This has been the complete story of Battlefield 3 and 4. Now, I wanted to tell the story of these two games due to the imminent release of Battlefield 6 and its campaign. Now, I don't know if Battlefield 6 will have any connection whatsoever to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. And I also know that apparently there are some connections to Battlefield 2042 in terms of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, but 2042 never got a campaign, so I refrained from adding them as many Battlefield fans have discussed whether those events should be canon or not. For example, in Battlefield 2042, you find an update on Sergeant Henry Blackburn that reads this. Henry was born in Buffalo, New York. He came from a long line of serving military personnel who'd fought in multiple wars. It only seemed right that Henry continued the Blackburn legacy. Staff Sergeant in the U.S. Marines, Henry fought in the war efforts against the PLR in 2014 and went on to foil the plot to detonate a nuclear device on American soil. Despite his heroic actions, Blackburn was court-martialed for the killing of a superior officer and dishonorably discharged from the army. The disgraced soldier responded the only way his training would allow. He adapted. As the world's militaries grew ever more dependent on private military companies, Blackburn seized an opportunity to start his own venture. Wary of undue attention, Blackburn operated from the shadows to recruit and build a formidable fighting force for hire. by the 2020s, he secretly headed one of the most powerful PMCs in the world. And in recent years, Blackburn's power and influence has allowed him to spearhead a seemingly more benevolent enterprise. His idea was Archangel Corporation, an entity committed to the betterment of humanity through the development of AI and robotics. It was a world-changing mission, and Blackburn would do whatever it took to bring it to fruition. So you see, I mean, some people would say that you just kind of butcher the fucking character of Henry Blackburn, but that is the update. So I think that's why a lot of people maybe didn't like it, but again, you do what you will with that information. There is also a cutscene that shows Irish and Pac back in 2042, but this time Pac is killed for good. So those are minor updates that I didn't think were necessary to know when telling the story of these two games. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what story we should cover next.